So Dr. Mine, we have one question. It says, is it permissible in Islamic finance to refinance, a refinance transaction? So if somebody is in a riba transaction, is it permissible for them to refinance and convert that over to an Islamic financial transaction?
Has been involved in conventional finance or mortgage, the best solution for him or her to refinance with the Sharia compliant financing company. This is the best option. If he or she cannot, then paying as much as he can. If his monthly payment is $2,000 and he can afford, 5 times double this amount to get rid of the riba, that is, of course, a must, because everybody knows the amortization system in the US. The more you pay, the extra actually will go toward the principal against the interest. So to get rid of the interest, you just pay as much as you can to pay off the loan. But the easy solution actually is to refinance with a Sharia compliant mortgage company, just to get rid of riba from day one after you refinance.
Jazakallah khair. Now, Adil has a question. Now, this question, Adil, I think I'm going to discuss this when I go over the presentation, but it's a great question. Adil is asking, just to give you a preview, can you give an example of how the process of buying a house and paying it off works? Inshallah, we're going to review that, Adil. Inshallah, at the next presentation, which will be about guidance residential. So keep typing in your questions. We have a question. Can you tell us, this is from Sajid Khan, Dr. Mine. Sajid Khan is asking about, can you tell us more about the Ijaza program?
Yeah, the Ijaza program is a non-degree program that allows students to read the whole Quran either by heart or like reading from the Mus'haf in the presence of the Sheikh. This kind of Ijaza actually is a high-level Ijaza that provides sanad. Sanad actually means an uninterrupted chain of narrators that tracks the reciter back all the way to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is like a very prevailing tradition in the Muslim world to memorize the Quran while holding a sanad, which means that you read the Quran in the presence of your sheikh, and your sheikh in the past has done the same with his sheikh all the way back to the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. Those who are interested have to apply for admission first, and then we'll be holding an evaluation test for them. If the applicant passes with a minimum of 70%, like with a good recitation and good tajweed skills, then he or she can start the Ijaza. We do have like female teachers for the sisters who prefer to read with a female teacher, and of course we have brothers for those who prefer to read with male instructors.
Jazakallah khair. Dr. Mine, the next question is, what is the best way to choose an Islamic financial company?
It's all about education. Our council, AMJA, the Assembly of Muslim Jurists of America, we did our due diligence, as they say. We did our research on a scholarly level on the main Islamic finance companies in the US. And our conclusion, our findings is that within those major 5 companies, the most Sharia compliant company that deals in the secondary market, is Guidance Residential. Alhamdulillah, it's a Sharia compliant enough, and it is a good option, for those who want to own homes in a Sharia compliant way without having the feeling of guilt of being involved in riba. It is good to mention here that the registration of Guidance Residential in the US is that it is an investment company and not a mortgage or a traditional bank. Investment company actually is allowed to own property, and the actual ownership is the fundamental difference between the conventional and the Islamic finance. Once you own, you take the liability, you take the responsibility of owning a property, which is the case with Guidance Residential. For a certain period of time, AMJA had some observations on the actual implementation of the diminishing partnership of guidance residential. After verifying some details with the Sharia Advisory Board of Guidance Residential, we concluded that guidance residential is a very reasonable option for those practicing Muslims who would like to own their homes without being involved in riba.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you, Dr. Mine. And we have time for one more question, and I'm going to go to Sean. Sean is asking, is it permissible for the debt holders to sell it? I guess Sean is asking, is it permissible to buy and sell debt, which conventional banks do in the secondary market?
Well, buying and selling debts actually for a third party is not allowed. Okay, if I have a contract that's worth $100,000, okay, debt loan, I cannot sell it to Freddie Mac for $95,000. If someone actually is asking about the practice of guidance residential, guidance residential actually does own a certain percentage of the house. So whenever they turn around and sell the contract to Freddie Mac next day or after a few months, they are not selling money for money. They are selling their shares or percentage of ownership or equity in the house. They own a certain percentage of the house that the client actually is living in. So they sell that share to Freddie Mac. They sell property or shares. They are not selling money for money. Conventional banks and conventional mortgage companies do it otherwise. I mean, they lend money, and they sell that loan, for less, for a discount to Freddie Mac. I mean, this is how the business works in the U.S., which is, of course, against the Islamic principles.
Jazakallah khair, Dr. Mine. I want to thank you for clarifying that and answering this question. I want to thank Dr. Mine for being with us tonight and sharing his thoughts on Islamic finance and the positive impact it has on society as a whole. I want to thank Dr. Mine Al-Quda for sharing his valuable information and wisdom and knowledge with us. And Jazakallah khair also for leading Guidance College and your efforts over there. Jazakallah khair.
Jazakallah khair and barakallah feekum, and keep up the good job, Guidance Residential. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you and bless your effort. Thank you so much.
Jazakallah khair. It's always good to see you, Dr. Mine. Thank you very much.